My girlfriend announced that we were done, saying her new guy was whisking her off to Paris. I simply told her to have a nice trip. What she didn't realize was that her new guy was actually the latest intern who reported directly to me, and I waited until their plane was airborne. Then texted the intern that he was terminated effective immediately, killed his company card, and left the two of them completely stranded in France. That my girlfriend of 2 years, Madison, ended things with me 7 days ago. She chose our favorite restaurant for the breakup, which took some nerve that I had to sit there opposite her, keeping a straight face while she calmly tore apart everything we'd built, all while the waiter kept refilling my water like nothing was happening. She delivered the standard lines. We were heading in different directions. She needed more fire, more drive in her life. Then came the part she'd clearly been saving for last, the part that made her eyes shine with victory. She'd met someone else, an extraordinary, driven man who was truly going places. "He's taking me to Paris for a week, Alex," she said, practically glowing with satisfaction. "First class, leaving Friday evening." She wanted the image to burn. Her being swept away on a glamorous European escape by someone better than me. She wanted me to feel insignificant, replaced, and abandoned. I didn't feel any of that. Instead, a cool, familiar clarity settled over me. The same feeling I get right before sealing a massive contract. Because while she described this incredible new man, I realized I already knew exactly who he was. His name was Leo, and he was my most recent intern. Let me give you the background because it matters. I'm a vice president at a major global tech company. 3 months earlier, we brought in a group of hand-picked MBA interns from the best programs in the country. Leo stood out immediately, brilliant, magnetic, and dangerously overconfident. He was placed on my team. I recognized the talent, but I also spotted the recklessness. He was a high-stakes player who believed rules were for people less clever than him. Because my division handles sensitive, high-value projects, I had the authority to issue Leo a corporate American Express with a very high limit. It's extremely rare for interns, but he was being fast-tracked. The card was meant strictly for approved project expenses, some of which involved possible travel and client entertainment in Europe. As his direct supervisor and the authorizing VP, I could see every transaction in real time. I'd given him plenty of rope to see whether he'd use it wisely or tie it into a noose. So when Madison, whose own income is modest, started bragging about first-class tickets to Paris, something clicked that I knew Leo couldn't possibly afford that on his own. There was only one explanation. He was using the rope I'd handed him to hang himself. I played along perfectly. I listened to Madison, let a flicker of hurt cross my face, even asked softly when their flight left on Friday. She happily supplied the airline and flight number, eager to drive the dagger deeper. 7 p.m. direct to Charles de Gaulle, she said, smirking. That night, while she packed her belongings in our apartment, I sat in my home office and opened the corporate expense system. Everything was there in crisp detail, a monument to Leo's arrogance. Transaction 1, 2 first-class return tickets on Air France $14, 500. Transaction 2, 7 nights prepaid at a 5-star hotel on the Champs-Élysées $8, 200. Transaction 3, cash withdrawal at the airport $1, 000. He was treating the company card like his private ATM. It was audacious, stupid, and guaranteed to end his career before it started. He was gambling that either I wouldn't notice or that he could bury the charges among legitimate ones. He'd made a catastrophic miscalculation. When Madison finally wheeled her suitcases to the door, ready to walk out of my life for good, she paused and gave me one last condescending glance. "Well, Alex," she said, "I'm off to begin my new chapter. My new man is taking me to Paris." I met her eyes, face completely neutral. "Have a safe flight," I replied. For the next 48 hours, I did absolutely nothing. I let them board, let them sip champagne at 37,000 feet, Let the charges for airport lounges and overpriced croissants appear on the portal. Then, on Friday night, I pulled up the flight tracker. I watched the little plane icon cross the Atlantic until it was well beyond any chance of turning back. Only then did I move. Step 1 was a text message I'd already drafted to Leo. It was brief and ice cold. Leo, this is formal notice that your internship is terminated immediately for gross misconduct and fraudulent use of company assets. Your corporate card has been deactivated. Do not contact me or anyone at the company. A demand for full repayment and formal termination letter will follow to your permanent address. Sent. Delivery confirmed. He'd see it roughly 6 hours later, somewhere above France. Step 2 was a phone call to our 24/7 corporate card emergency line. The agent sounded half asleep until I gave my name and executive authorization code. I'm reporting fraudulent activity on a card issued under my authority, I said. The holder has been terminated. Cancel the card now and flag every recent transaction for chargeback, especially the airline tickets and hotel reservation. A few keystrokes later, card deactivated, Mr. Sterling. All pending authorizations frozen. Fraud case opened. 5 minutes, 2 actions, and their entire fantasy was obliterated. I pictured the scene on arrival. Still buzzing from free-flowing champagne, rolling up to the gleaming hotel entrance, Leo confidently handing over the card. Then the polite but firm concierge. I'm terribly sorry, sir. The payment method has been declined. The reservation is no longer valid. From that moment, every plan dissolved. The card in Leo's wallet was now worthless plastic. His personal account on an intern stipend couldn't cover a hostel, let alone 2 last-minute flights home. They were marooned in one of the most expensive cities on Earth with zero budget. Exactly as expected, 8 hours later my phone started blowing up. Unknown French number ignored. Then Madison, in full panic. Alex, what have you done? The hotel turned us away. Leo's card is dead everywhere. He just got a text saying he's fired. This isn't funny. We have no money, we're stuck. You have to fix this. You owe me. I read every frantic message, felt a deep, quiet satisfaction, and finally sent one reply. This seems like an issue between you and your ambitious new partner. As I said, enjoy the trip. Then I blocked her number, blocked every social account, erased her completely. Her friends started texting next, clearly fed the sob story. What you're doing is cruel. There's been a huge misunderstanding. I blocked them too. There was no misunderstanding. There were only consequences. Madison had bet everything on a man who funded his grand gestures with stolen money. I simply removed the stolen money at the worst possible moment. Update 2 Monday morning, I walked into the office and went straight to HR and my direct boss, the EVP. I laid out printed screenshots of every charge, the timeline, the whole disaster. I terminated the intern Friday night the moment the fraud was undeniable, I explained. I also killed the card to limit further exposure. My boss nodded approvingly. Smart, decisive damage control, Alex. Better we learn he's a thief now than after he's touching client funds. HR processed the formal blacklist. Leo would never work for us or any partner company again. My file received a note praising my vigilance and protection of company assets. Professionally, I came out stronger. The gossip network eventually delivered the rest of the story. After failing to reach me, Madison had to make a series of mortifying calls to her parents, confessing that her glamorous Parisian adventure had collapsed because her boyfriend used a stolen credit card to pay for it. Her parents, after what must have been a legendary dressing down, wired just enough for 2 of the cheapest one-way tickets available, middle seats, multiple stops, probably including Reykjavik. The flight home was reportedly silent and miserable. Once back, Madison tried a scorched earth campaign. She told anyone who would listen that I was a possessive, abusive ex who sabotaged her out of jealousy. She also sent a long, pseudo-legal email demanding the return of her furniture, artwork, and electronics, almost all of which I'd bought years before we met. I forwarded the email to my lawyer without comment. He fired back a cease and desist that shredded her claims, attached receipts proving sole ownership, and gently reminded her that she had knowingly benefited from fraud. It pointed out that the company had so far chosen not to pursue her as an accessory, but that could change if she continued harassing me. Silence followed. Complete, permanent silence. Final update: 4 months have passed since the Paris debacle. The dust has settled, and the full fallout is clear. Leo's career is dead. The legal department sent a demand for repayment of the entire $24,000 plus within 30 days or face lawsuit. HR also sent the standard letter to his MBA program detailing the theft. His reputation in the industry is radioactive. No serious firm will touch him. Madison's life unraveled quickly. The relationship with Leo disintegrated the moment reality hit. He was now broke, disgraced, and in massive debt. Within days she was single again, publicly humiliated after leaving me for a better man who turned out to be a fraud. She burned through her savings on the emergency flight home, had no claim to the apartment, and ended up moving back into her parents' house in her childhood bedroom at 28 years old. About a month ago, she sent one last rambling email from a new address, half blaming me for destroying her life, half offering a weak apology while still dodging responsibility. I read it, felt nothing, deleted it, blocked the address. My own life is calm and thriving. My standing at work is higher than ever, seen as the executive who spots risk and neutralizes it fast. The apartment is peaceful. I've been training hard, traveling for pleasure on my own terms, and reconnecting with friends I'd sidelined while I was with her. I don't see what I did as revenge. I see it as efficient risk management. An untrustworthy employee and a partner who enabled him were both liabilities. I removed them from my company and my life with minimal collateral damage. That their own choices caused their total collapse was simply the natural, predictable outcome of betting everything on deceit and expecting no one to call the bluff. They played a reckless hand with money and trust that weren't theirs. They lost everything. Spectacularly.